and Iron Mountain, so stay tuned.
Production funding for High School Bowl is provided in part by the Mead Corporation. Welcome to High School Bowl. Now, here's your host, Dave Goldsmith.
Thank you, and welcome to High School Bowl. Well, our second round got off to a really fast start last week with two very good games, and I'm looking forward to a couple of good ones this week. Here to play our first game are the Mid-Peninsula Wolverines and the Lake Linden-Hubbell Lakes. The Lakes had a bye in the first round, and Mid-Peninsula got a bye when its opponent, Cedarville, forfeited. Each team has 4 players back from last year's squads. So let's begin our first game by meeting our teams. We'll start with Mid-Penn.
Jason Barron, Jr.
Lisa Livermore, Senior.
Jason Coons, Senior and team captain.
Mike Berkey, Senior.
And those are the Wolverines. Now let's meet their opponents, the Lakes.
Sierra McLeod, Jr.
Tammy Zimnick, Senior. Michelle Jarvis, Senior, team captain.
Charlie Lepstow, Senior.
And you've met our scholars for this first game. I'd like you to meet their coaches. Mid-Penn's coach is Vern Nelson. Lake Linden's is Earl Brogan. Mid-Penn's alternate is Sarah Weldy, and Lake Linden's are Dan and Jody Wenberg. As always, our scorekeeper on High School Bowl, Don Wilkie, and our judge, Northern Michigan University's professor of biology, Lowell Newdeck. And as I've said before, he's not our only professor of biology at Northern, but he's my favorite one. First toss-up, teams, here we go. Good luck. The original sails on Old Ironsides and the original Old Glory, sewn by Betsy Rost, our first seamstress general, were both made of a plant now illegal in the United States. For 10 points, name it. Lepisto.
Hemp.
Hemp is right for 10 points. Hemp. I'm shocked they made Old Glory out of hemp. Wonder if it was illegal to smoke the flag. If something were to happen to both the U.S. president and vice president, for 10 points apiece, Lakes, what are the next 3 positions to succeed to the presidency? After the president and vice president. No particular order, we just need the 3 positions. Time's up. Michelle?
Speaker of the House.
Right.
President of the Senate.
Right.
And, Attorney General.
The next one would be Secretary of State, but you got the first 2 for 20 bonus points. Listen carefully. 31 is, so is 331, and 3,331, and 33,331. But 33,333,331 is not, because it's divisible by 17. Jarvis.
What is prime?
Prime is the right answer, yes. We have High School Jeopardy again. That's our first one this year. Here's your 20-point bonus. This participatory journalist now regularly hosts Mousterpiece Theater on the Disney Channel, but is better known for such one-time-only jobs as playing with the New York Philharmonic, boxing against Archie Moore, and pitching against a baseball all-star lineup. 20 points if you can name him. Time is up. Michelle?
Smith.
He's George Plimpton. George Plimpton, and also the Paper Lion. The ultimate Pentagon euphemism used during the 1991 Gulf War was ballistically induced aperture in the subcutaneous environment. For 10 points, translate that into simple English. Berkey.
Getting shot.
Getting shot, right, for 10 points. Getting shot, a bullet wound. And of course, that could terminate you with extreme prejudice. Here's your bonus. It is a flammable material made from pyroxylin and camphor and was patented in 1889 by George Eastman. For 20 points, Wolverines, name this material used in photographic films and especially identified with the film industry.
Flash powder?
Again, please?
Flash powder?
Flash powder is not right. I'm sorry, it's celluloid. Celluloid, they used to make film. Do they still make film out of celluloid? No. Okay. His real name is Eric Wright. For 10 points, give me the professional name of this rapper of the group Coons.
Eazy-E.
Eazy-E, right. The group is NWA, and here's your bonus. He was born in Poland in 1886 as David Green, and as a young man adopted a pen name meaning son of the lion cub, a pen name that became his legal name in the Jewish state he helped establish. For 20 points, what is his name?
No answer.
No answer, Jason. Audience. David Ben-Gurion, yes. No fair, coaches can't answer. I mean, don't get any points if they do. In 1968, he contributed to Catholicism and thereafter dealt with spiritual salvation in his plays, including The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore. For 10 points, name this author of Summer and Smoke and A Streetcar Named Desire. Lepisto.
Williams.
Tennessee Williams, right. All we needed was the last name, Williams, and you gave it to us, and you earned a 30-point bonus for your team, Charlie. The U.S. Supreme Court based its 1973 Roe v. Wade decision on two constitutional amendments, one in the Bill of Rights, which reserves rights to the people, and the other a post-Civil War amendment, which has been used to justify a right to privacy. For 15 points apiece, name these two amendments. Michelle, time's up.
Okay, 3rd and 14th Amendments.
14th is right. 9th is the other. You have 15 bonus points. Since 1885, this western state has accounted for almost 50% of all U.S. silver production, but it's probably more famous for its skiing and potatoes. Jarvis.
Idaho.
Idaho, yes. You were fast on the buzzer that time, because that was obviously a speed question. This is an audio bonus, Lake, so listen carefully. This theme belongs to Britain's famous spy. For 20 points, I want you to listen and tell me whose theme this is. Michelle, you got it?
James Bond.
James Bond for 20 bonus points. The world's largest philanthropic trust organization turned 56 in 1992. For its first 14 years, it mostly donated to educational institutions in Michigan. For 20 points, name this foundation founded by a father-son industrialist team. Michigan? No takers? Down it goes. Audience. Ford, the Ford Foundation. Many of the characters, thank God they don't sponsor us, many of the characters on In Living Color are audacious, which means recklessly daring, disregarding conventional authority. For 10 points, spell audacious. Jarvis.
A-U-D-A-C-I-O-U-S.
You got it for 10 points. You're over 100. And here's your bonus. I'll describe two 1991 NBA Hall of Famers. For 10 points apiece, you name them. First, this diminutive guard had nicknames like Tiny, but ended up 8th on the career assist list and won the league scoring title with the Kings in 1973. Michelle?
Rober.
Tiny Archibald, Nate Archibald. Second, also worth 10 points, this red-headed Celtics center won the MVP award for the All-Star game and the entire season in 1973. Michelle?
No answer.
That was Dave Collins. Dave Collins. After McDonald's opened in Moscow last year, a franchise of hamburger kiosks opened in Havana, suggesting that anything the Soviets could do, they could do better. For 10 McPoints, identify this McCompany named for Cuba's prime minister turned McPresident. Kuntz.
McCastros.
Right, for 10 points. That's what they're called. McCastros. It's for real. A failed weekend coup in this country in January 1991 was credited to followers of former Interior Minister Roger Lafontaine, who wanted to prevent Father Jean Aristide from being inaugurated February 7th. 20 points, Wolverines, if you can name this French-speaking Caribbean country.
Haiti.
Haiti for 20 bonus points. You might not expect Mexico to be known for political stability, but since 1934, all of its presidents have served for exactly the same length of time, longer than the standard U.S. term. For 10 points, how many years is the term for the Mexican president? Aaron.
6 years.
6 years is right. I'll describe 2 Steve Martin movies for you for 10 points apiece. You name them. First, in his first feature in 1979, he played the son of a poor black sharecropper.
The Jerk.
The Jerk is right. All 3 times it was right. Second, this 1991 romantic comedy features Martin as a wacky weatherman in Southern California.
L.A. Story.
L.A. Story, 20 bonus points to the Wolverines. It's not a cure, but the new technique of myoblast transfer is a promising treatment for the most common, or Duchenne's variety, of this fatal degenerative disease. For 10 points, name this disease. Jarvis.
MS.
MS is not right, sorry. That's an interrupt, will cost you 5. Whose victims are the beneficiary of Jerry Lewis's annual telethon? Kuntz.
Muscular dystrophy.
MD, right, muscular dystrophy. So close, so close. The Mideast has long been a political thorn in the sides of U.S. presidents, but Jimmy Carter made headway in the 1970s. Take a look at this historic meeting at Camp David, Wolverines, and for 15 points apiece, I want you to identify that former president of Egypt and prime minister of Israel who signed the Camp David Accords. You'll get a better look at him in a minute. Two names worth 15 points apiece. Time is up. Jason?
Egypt is Sadat and Israel Shamir.
You got Sadat right. Anwar Sadat of Egypt, Menachem Begum of Israel. 15 bonus points to the Wolverines, who took the lead just as the first half ended with the score Mid-Penn 105, Lake Linden 100. And now another message from Bruce Turner.
Thank you, Dave. High School Bowl is the copyrighted format of College Bowl Company Incorporated. This program may not be reproduced in whole or part without the expressed written consent of the College Bowl Company Incorporated.
Thank you, Bruce. Our audience for this game consists of a handsome group of 5th graders from Marquette's Bothwell Middle School. Welcome to the show. Well, we have both teams to interview at halftime since neither has been here before, so let's get right to it, find out what their plans are for the future. We'll start with Mid-Penn's Jason Barron.
Well, I like playing around with chemicals and stuff, so I plan on going to tech and being a chemical engineer.
Good.
And,
I understand you build rockets.
Yeah, I'm into model rocketry. I'll build about any kind of rocket I can find. Sometimes I make up my own, and sometimes I get a kit or something.
Do you fly them?
Yep, yeah, I fly them too. I have my own launching system and everything. So.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. Lisa Livermore, senior.
I plan to go into biology. I don't know where I'm going to college yet, but I like the outdoors and all that stuff. Maybe a wildlife biologist.
Okay, you're the basketball player on the team.
Yeah, and cheerleader.
You can't cheerlead and play basketball at the same time.
At our school, we were really little, so football and cheerleading. So.
But when you're out there playing on the basketball court, you can't be on the sidelines cheering for yourself.
No.
You're not that versatile.
No.
Okay. Captain Jason Kuntz.
Well, upon graduation, I'll be attending Michigan State in the fall '92 and studying in telecommunications. Hopefully, get a nice, mighty paying job, get married, you know.
What kind of well-paying job?
Something to do with some sort of satellite telecommunications, contract by Rockwell, you know, one of them satellite building companies.
You're going to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. And the final player, Mike Berkey.
Well, I plan on going into anthropology at Western Michigan because I like history.
Why'd you pick Western for that?
It's far away from home, but close enough so I can leech off my parents.
Okay. And you're into karate?
Yeah, I like to beat people up.
What belt do you have?
Green, and with one stripe.
Green with one stripe. What's next?
Green with 2 stripes.
2 stripes. What color is next?
Brown.
Brown. And after
that is black.
Black. Okay. We got that all straight. We've talked to the Wolverines. Now let's meet the Lakes, and we'll begin with Sierra McLeod.
Yes, after I graduate, I hope to go to tech and enter in computer science.
It's okay if I ask you about your first name, Sierra?
Yeah, it's unusual. My mother picked it out from a book she read, and she thought it was really different, so she picked it out.
And the book was The Treasure of Sierra Madre?
I'm not sure.
Okay. You might want to find out. You know, it's your name. Tammy Zimnick.
I'm going to go to tech and major in civil engineering.
What do you want to be doing 10 years from now?
Hopefully working on the East Coast somewhere.
Doing what? Building bridges?
Not bridges, more construction and just buildings or water plants.
Okay. And I have a note on you that says Lions Band Color Guard.
I was in Michigan All-State Lions Band Color Guard in the summer of '89.
Huh?
We went down to Miami, Florida and toured for 10 days.
In the summer?
Yeah.
Pretty hot down there in the summer,
Yeah, it was.
wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Captain Michelle Jarvis.
I plan to attend Central Michigan University in the fall, and I'll probably major in business, maybe marketing or advertising. I'm not sure yet.
Are you going there because it's far away from home?
Yes.
Okay. Meet Mike Berkey. Yeah. You have some connection with the Houghton County Fair.
Yeah, I was recently crowned the Houghton County Fair Queen at the fair. There was a pageant with 14 contestants, and I don't know. I won,
Good
I
for
guess.
you. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Finally, Charlie Lepistow.
Well, last year I said that I was going to ride across country on a hog, but I've given up those childish aspirations, you know, since I don't have any money. But I was just thinking next year I'll just hitchhike across the U.S. instead.
Okay. Eventually, you plan to get a job?
Working at a car wash or something.
Okay. Great expectations of Charlie Lepistow. Those are our players for this first game. And as I suspected, we have a good close one, 105 to 100, so let's go. If Queen Victoria hadn't been enchanted by a set of watercolors of this rustic little village, it might still be a rustic little village instead of a national capital. For 10 points, name this Canadian city. Kuntz.
Ottawa.
Ottawa, right. He was editing a small newspaper in Manhattan when he heard of Tsar Nicholas II's abdication. He immediately quit the paper, hurried back to Russia, and assumed the leadership of the Red Army. For 25 points, Wolverines, who was this leading comrade of Lenin and rival of Stalin?
Brezhnev.
Oh, no, he was Leon Trotsky. Brezhnev came much later. In the 1990-91 football season, he led the NFL in total yards gained from scrimmage with a combined total of running and passing yards of 1,829. For 10 points, name this star of the Buffalo Bills. Lepistow.
Dickerson.
Not right, sorry, mid-pen. Buzz if you wanted. Don't confer. Kuntz.
Phil Simms.
Audience. Thurman Thomas. Kansas City, Seattle, Los Angeles, St. Petersburg, and New York City. All these cities have newspapers with the same name. For 10 points, what name? McLeod.
The Tribune?
Not right. Sorry, Mid-Penn. Livermore.
Times.
The Times is right. The strange type of meteorite, known as shergotites, are only 1.3 billion years old, only. Their relatively young age and odd chemistry indicate that they were somehow knocked off a certain planet about 180 million years ago. For 20 points, Mid-Penn, which red planet?
Mars.
Mars for 20 points. This country's name comes from an Indian word meaning where the land ends, possibly because it stretches from Peru to Cape Horn, where its land ends. For 10 points, teams name this country more than 10 times as long as it is McLeod.
Chile.
Chile for 10 points. You know what its capital is? Con carne, sure. In 1939, at the outbreak of World War II, Italy had a substantial African empire comprising 3 current African nations. For 15 points apiece, name any 2 of those 3 nations. The Italian Empire in Africa. Time is up. Michelle, 2 countries, please.
Ethiopia and Egypt.
Ethiopia is right. Libya and Somalia were the other 2. 10 bonus points to the Lakes. The last one was delivered to the U.S. Air Force on October 23rd, 1963. And they are expected to remain on active duty until 2035. For 10 points, name this most durable of heavy bombers. Lepisto.
B-52.
B-52, yes. You can see them in the skies over the UP any day of the year. Identify this author after one of his titles for 30 points, 2 for 20 points, 3 for 10 points. First clue, The Constant Wife. Looking for an author. Michelle?
Hawthorne.
No, we'll try the second clue. The Moon and Sixpence. Michelle?
No answer.
Third clue, The Razor's Edge. Time is up. Michelle?
Livingston.
No, it's the answer to Does He Do Cartwheels Over Mother? Willie Somerset Maugham. Somerset Maugham? All right. His middle 2 names began with A. His first and last names began with J. For 10 points, give me the last name of the Irish author of Lepisto.
Joyce.
James Joyce, right, for 10 points. James Augustine Aloysius Joyce, we have a tie. The name's the same. The Harlem Theater at 7th Avenue and 126th Street that flourished in the late 20s, and the Spanish Fortress Palace built by the Moors in Granada. 20 points. What's the shared name?
The Palladium.
The Alhambra. An ongoing archaeological dig in its central square has revealed that this city dates back to at least 3000 BC, years before it gained fame as the center of the Renaissance. For 10 points, name this Tuscan city on Italy's Arno River. Lepisto.
Florence.
Florence is right for 10 points. Florence, or Firenze, as they call it. The 1990-91 season was a stormy one for the NBA's New York Knicks. For 10 points apiece, first, name their disgruntled point guard suspended for publicly criticizing the coach. Another NBA question. Time is up. Michelle?
Bulks.
Mark Jackson. Second, name the team's general manager who was fired in the middle of their season.
No answer.
Al Bianchi. I went to school with him. Something is wrong with the shaft on which your wheel and hub assembly revolves. For 10 points specifically, what part of your car is broken? The shaft. Jarvis.
The steering wheel?
Is not right. Sorry. Mid-pen? I'm going to drop it. The axle. This theory of the origin of the universe explains the red shifts of galaxies by inferring that the universe is still expanding, since it's beginning with the explosion of a primal atom, McLeod.
Big Bang.
It's the Big Bang theory, yes. His last trip was a spiritual one, Lakes. This 85-year-old writer of travel books died in February 1991, leaving a literary legacy of guidebooks to 93 countries. For 25 points, name this Hungarian-born author whose first book was 1936's On the Continent.
McNally?
Sorry, his name was Fodor. Eugene Fodor, the Fodor Guides, F-O-D-O-R. He was the only U.S. president to derive an independent proof of the famous Pythagorean theorem. For 10 points, who was this classical scholar, better known today as the namesake of a Koontz?
Thomas Jefferson.
Is not right. I'm sorry, that's an interrupt. It'll cost you 5 because there's a little more clue. The namesake of a cartoon cat. Lepisto.
Garfield.
Garfield, yes. James A. Garfield. It is the international source for information on modern armaments and publishes annual yearbooks with such titles as All the World's Aircraft, Fighting Ships, Infantry Weapons, and Armor and Artillery. For 20 points, Lakes, name this British publisher on all matters military.
Westinghouse?
Janes, J-A-N-E-S. Janes Fighting Ships, probably the most famous one. His 20 years of adventures included killing the suitors who pestered his wife, Penelope, encountering cannibals, and a showdown with the Cyclops. For 10 points, who was this mythological father of Telemachus? Berkey.
Odysseus?
Odysseus is right for 10 points. Odysseus or Ulysses, we could take either one of them. Here's your bonus. Only 2 of the following 8 people, each considered a pop idol to some and a source of scandal to others, lived to his or her 30th birthday. For 10 points apiece, which 2? That's it. The buzzer has gone off. It's all over. Lake Linden wins at 175 to 150. That was a good, close game all the way. That last bonus was only 20 points, so it wouldn't have caught you up anyway. But you played a really good game. This is, it was a nail-biter from beginning to end. Unfortunately, one team has to win and one team has to lose. Wolverine's been a pleasure playing with you. Jason, we'll see you when you come back next year. The rest of you, good luck in the future. Lakes, you hung on there right in the end, got a couple important questions, and you won it. Congratulations. You're going to come back in the second round and play the winner of our second game this week. So back to the books, and we'll see you then. And we hope you'll stay tuned for our second game between Big Beatty Knock and Iron Mountain.